Yo,
how's it going,
dude? It's going really good.
I feel so disconnected from you.
Yeah, our tips are definitely desynced, man.
Yeah, it's got to happen again. It's happened, but we're here. We're in Vegas.
Mhm.
We're in the loft that the Real World season 845 was filmed, or whatever it is. We've been attending Unconfiscatable, put on by the legendary Tone Base. It's been a good time. You've been having a good time?
Yeah, man. Had a great time. We hosted the Scammies yesterday.
Yeah.
That was a first. Had at least 5 or 6 tequilas in me. So yeah, it was very memorable.
Yeah, it's been a great time. I've been having a lot of fun, and we get to do. I mean, it's always great when we get to do a live show together and hang out. And so here we are. We're going to be bringing you, of course, the latest and greatest in everything Bitcoin, and I'm going to be hitting you with some tech updates. And make sure you stay tuned for Why Are We Bullish tomorrow, because I'm going to be chatting with a few people in and around here over the next day, and you'll get to see some of that coming up. But of course, this is live.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, as Bill will tell you right now.
Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. And thing sucks.
And if you have not already, like, sub, share, all those things, super important. I am Ben. This is Nico, and this is your Simply session. Let's go.
Hodl the Bitcoin.
All right, before we hit the news, let's take a look at where we are in the market right now. And dare we say that it'll never be 58K again?
I don't know, man. I've had bad experiences with Dennis, and just I feel like we're just destined to be at 58K for forever.
Very possible, very possible. But for the time being, at least for the next 15 minutes, we're sitting currently at $63,082 per coin. A single US dollar will snag you 1,585 sats. In terms of fees, 8 sats per byte. First time I've seen it in the higher end of the single digits, and it's been a while. It's been cheap, but 8 sats per byte. Next block. And in terms of Bitcoin mined, 19.75 million. That is 94.07% of the total supply. We're going to hit our sponsors super quick here, and we will be right back to get into everything that's been going on this week. So we'll see you in just a second. Bitcoin Well is on a mission to enable independence by being one of the easiest and quickest ways to purchase Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And the best part about it, every buy goes directly into your own self-custody. They never hold your coins. You can add a Bitcoin address as part of onboarding. There's a transparent 1% spread, no hidden fees, no withdrawal fees. Plus they have KYC free sells and bill payments on their website. They're also a publicly traded company under the ticker BTCW on the TSXV. Check them out over at bitcoinwell.com. Check out my full tutorial on how to use them, and you can check out the links in the show notes down below and sign up today. Keeper is a mobile Bitcoin application for managing and securing your funds for the long term. Keeper is a mobile Bitcoin application for managing and securing your funds for the long term. You can set up hot wallets for day-to-day spending or create digital vaults for deep cold storage. They also offer assisted multi-sig options as well as inheritance planning. And on top of that, Keeper boasts a long list of support for Bitcoin hardware, longer than I've seen for any other mobile application. You can check them out today by searching BitcoinKeeper in your app store or heading to bitcoinkeeper.app. It would seem that anything can happen when it's live.
Yeah, man. I mean, we are in Vegas after all, and we are at the Real World Suite. I don't even want to think about the things that have happened here. Already things have happened to us already.
Yeah.
But
that's enough said with in that department. we're still grappling with the trauma.
Yeah, I don't think I'll forget that. It's a very memorable, Vegas experience, but it's not one of those things that stays in Vegas. It will stay with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and it may be blasted on social media even.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe.
It might. Well, we're gonna. I guess we'll dive into to what's been going on with everything, and I better pull up. I better get in here with your news, and I'll just let you take it, man. What's been going on in the realm of Bitcoin? What's exciting? There's been a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple things, right? So first, historic day, and that historic day was Trump actually giving away burgers at the Pub Key, I believe that is the name of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I mean, like, I can't even imagine what that's like for bro, it's a US president, doing this, which is absolutely gnarly. Here's a clip of it real quick. It's about a minute and 47 seconds. You'll clearly notice that Trump hasn't seen any of Ben's videos, but we all had to start somewhere. So let's check it out. Historic moment in Bitcoin's history.
On Donald Trump, he is in a bar, I believe, in downtown New York called the Pub Key in downtown Manhattan. Maybe we can play up some sound here, guys, and see if he says anything.
Scan this QR code here with this phone if you want to take that from them. Scan that QR code right here. Right there. Right there. Just that one. Slight technical difficulty.
All right. And fantastic, it went through. Right. I need to refresh the invoice.
He has absolutely no idea what happened. When they said it went through, he just said, right. And it also has been confirmed. Someone put a screenshot of the Zaprite receipt. Trump bought over $1,000 worth of burgers.
Nice.
For the entire Pub Key bar, which was absolutely hilarious. And then you just see him like handing them out, like one burger for you, one crypto burger for you, and everyone's like boo, and he's like, okay, a Bitcoin burger for you. So yeah, absolutely historic moment. Also, Trump on Monday actually hosted a Twitter Spaces, and it was actually held by this like shitcoin company called World Liberty Financial Business. But I think the things to pay attention regarding that news is the fact that he said that his son Barron was the one that was actually holding the wallets for him. And that he was just getting into it. And again, the talking points, and I actually tweeted this out not too long ago, I can't emphasize enough how important this election is going to be for the regulatory environment in the United States for the Bitcoin industry. And here you have Trump, that I believe the reason that he's doing this, the reason that he's showing up to these bars is because now the Bitcoin industry is part of the donor class. Mm-hmm. And that is incredibly important. It is official Republican Party platform. We have it right here. That they made it part of their platform. So if you go to, where is it? We're gonna, and this is live. Anything could happen.
There we go.
There we go. So part of the official Republican Party platform is that they'll say that Republicans will end Democrats' unlawful and un-American crypto crackdown and oppose the creation of a central bank digital currency. We will defend the right to mine Bitcoin and ensure every American has the right to self-custody of their digital assets and transact free from government surveillance and control. And this is in stark contrast to what the Democratic Party is offering. It was just announced today that Gary Gensler continues his crusade against the industry. So despite all that talk of, crypto for Kamala and all those things, if you pay attention to their actions, not their talk, it's very clear that one party is pro Bitcoin, anti CBDC, and the other party is anti Bitcoin, pro CBDC. And I don't think you can be a politician and be pro Bitcoin and pro CBDC. Hopefully, and again, guys, you have to look at it from this perspective, because I'm a single issue voter. I'm sure, Ben, you are too. You have to look at it from this direction. I truly believe that Bitcoin will fix the money, it will fix the world, fix the money, fix the world. You guys have heard that a million times. And I'm just looking at it from, I don't care what politician from what side of the aisle, if they're going to be pro Bitcoin and pro Bitcoin regulation, I'm going to support them. And in the US, because it is a two-party system, Trump isn't perfect. He's a bit of a shitcoiner, but a lot of us were when we got into the industry. If you contrast that with the other side, it's a stark contrast. So it's a clear decision this November. This is the first Bitcoin election, and one side is pro Bitcoin and one side is anti Bitcoin. So Trump continues to go down the rabbit hole. Made his first Bitcoin transaction. He's hosting spaces with it wasn't the Bitcoin industry, it was the crypto industry. Maybe him showing up at PubKey was his way of redeeming himself for what happened on Monday on those spaces. So another thing that I got to say as well, this is a little bit of a stretch, but it is I'm going to stick with it. I don't think it's a coincidence that the first pro Bitcoin presidential candidate has now faced 2 assassination attempts. Also, another thing to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, is that Trump has promised to free Ross Ulbricht. So I'll leave it at that. I know we've been talking a lot about Trump recently on Simply Sessions. It is an election year. Bitcoin is on the ballot. The freedom of the samurai guys is on the ballot. The freedom of Ross is on the ballot. The right to self-custody is on the ballot. The right to mine is on the ballot. So, yeah, man, I mean, I can't make a clear case. I understand that people still feel certain ways about Trump, but I think the alternative is 100 times worse.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you look at it, you've got it's a two-way street. It's either and neither option is the best, but at the end of the day, it's do you want a little bit of open road to be able to build the tools that make Bitcoin impervious to the state? And then add in a side of shitcoin degeneracy, because that's just how it's going to be served up? Or do you want to reelect the people that are throwing developers behind bars? So that's kind of where we're at. That's going to be a personal decision for everybody, but I know what I would prefer. And yeah, let's make it so that we have some time to build out what we truly need.
100%. And then we were talking about this earlier on Simply Bitcoin. This isn't just happening in the US. Actually, you broke the news to me first, because I was like, oh, this is the first presidential candidate did it. And then you were like, no. You understand. The conservative who's running for prime minister, Pierre Poilievre, I always butcher his name.
Pierre Poilievre.
He actually beat Trump to this
by years.
Yeah. So what did he do exactly?
So he went to visit Ali at the Real Tahinis, and he went to a Bitcoin meetup, chilled out with everybody, and he bought a shawarma with Lightning. And this was 2-3 years ago. I think 3 years ago. Yeah. And so and beyond that, another one up for Poilievre versus Trump is that as Poilievre's messaging continued to evolve, he went from saying crypto and things like that to specifying Bitcoin. So he definitely has been learning. He's obviously he quieted down about it through the bear market, because it was all of the ammo that the other side of the aisle could expend at him, but they don't have those talking points anymore, because since he started talking about it, it has continued to grow, even though it dipped in between.
Yeah, 100%. And like I remember seeing a clip of Trudeau, and he was just making fun of people about the inflation stuff.
Yeah.
And then like fast forward like 3 or 4 years later, like he was just proven completely wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is a global, worldwide phenomenon. This is happening in El Salvador. This is happening in Argentina. This is happening in the United States, in Canada. Also, I just interviewed a presidential candidate for the country of Suriname, which is actually very close to Venezuela, and she actually wants to make Bitcoin not only legal tender, but the unit of account of the country. Right. So this is a global phenomenon. I think we're on the verge of something absolutely huge. But anyways, moving on to the next piece of news. El Salvador has reached financial independence. And if you want to have an idea of why the IMF was so passionate about, so passionate about El Salvador and making Bitcoin legal tender, the reason for that is quite simple. When they saw that El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender, they see that now El Salvador has an alternative to the IMF loans, which you're very familiar with Gladstein's work.
Yes.
They essentially enslave these developing countries with these crazy terms in these loans. And in return, they're just giving them, I believe the term is SDFs. And it's essentially something that they could just print out of thin air too. It's like fiat.
Yeah.
And they enslave these countries. And the terms are so favorable for the West.
Yeah.
It's like they're extracting the resource of these countries. They're enslaving them. And now Bitcoin comes along. It provides an alternative. I believe that's the main motivation as to why.
Como una muestra más.
I believe that's the main motivation as to why the IMF was so hell-bent on attacking El Salvador. And this message right here from Nayib Bukele, basically saying financial independence announcement on Independence Day, is a shot across the bow and basically saying, hey, United States, hey, IMF, hey, Bank of International Settlements, hey, World Bank, we don't need you anymore. We can stand on our own 2 feet because of Bitcoin. And that is an incredibly powerful message.
Yeah. I want to, again, first off, kudos to Bukele, kudos to El Salvador for the amount of change that has taken place in such a short period of time. It's a massive accomplishment. It flies in the face of all of the detractors that said that it was destined to fail. And that's huge. And maybe this is what we see out of countries that have the wherewithal in the future to move towards a Bitcoin standard. Now, I wanted to show, and I'm just going to, in the same tab here, I'm going to bring up something that is directly related to this and just shows the directionality of different nations, in namely the directionality of my own country versus El Salvador. And I tweeted this out just the other day, but that story alongside another one came across my news feed, and I just thought to myself, like, wow, look at the contrast of these two countries and what they're doing. So President Bukele says El Salvador no longer dependent on debt. Meanwhile, in Canada, Ottawa to expand 30-year amortizations and raise insured mortgage cap, meaning that so many Canadians cannot afford to buy a home that they needed to extend the amount of time and the amount of debt that Canadians take on in order to maybe be able to eventually own their own home. So it's just like directionally, like he's saying, Bukele's saying, hey, we're no longer dependent on debt. And then Canada's saying, hey, we realize it's hard to get a home, so we're going to saddle you with lifetimes of debt. And it's just, it's such a contrast.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like the only, solution these politicians have, which is just more debt, more money printing. One of the things that I've been seeing in American politics, where I've seen this happen to Trump and Kamala, they get questions from like the audience, which is basically like, what are you going to do to bring down the grocery prices? And then I'm just looking at that. I'm like, Like, that's insane. Like, the government is the sole cause of inflation, right? Through their fiscal policy. You don't have to ask permission anymore. All you have to do is take your destiny into your own hands again, opt out of the system entirely, and change the money that you're using. And then all of a sudden, not only is life going to be more affordable over time, everything will get cheaper compared to if you were living on a fiat standard.
Yeah.
One of the things that one of the talking points that you hear, which is the American dream is dead. And I would say, no, the American dream is dead on fiat. The American dream is alive and well on a Bitcoin standard. And now it's been exported anywhere around the world. It doesn't matter. You don't have to live in America anymore. You can live the American dream. You work hard, you save, you stay disciplined, and over time, your purchasing power will continue to grow. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's, again, the formula that I love going through. The formula for a happy life is create value for others, spend less than you earn, and save in a money that nobody else can print for free.
Oof, beautiful, beautiful. All right, everybody. So moving on. So back to El Salvador and them setting just like they're just badasses. So they made their reserves public. That causes a couple things, right? So as you can see, Nayib Bukele has kept his promise. Every single day he buys one Bitcoin and he puts it into El Salvador's balance history. That's number one. Number two is when you make your reserves public, it makes it very difficult for politicians to skim a little bit off the top. That's in stark contrast with how most countries treat their reserves. So whether it's the UK or the United States or Canada, I'm most familiar with the United States, so I'll give context to that. But it's like, trust me, bro. Like, oh, we audited it, but trust me, bro. So in the United States, most of the gold is now, it's held in New York. But when FDR passed the 6102 order and confiscated Americans' gold in exchange for paper, he actually built Fort Knox to house all that gold. The last time Fort Knox, apparently it's audited every year, but there's no picture. It's not public like this is. The last time there is video footage of a vault at Fort Knox was in the 1970s. And they only showed one vault. Yeah. So I don't know what's happened from 1970 to now, but it's still, trust me, bro, we have this. And this is the same government that's sending billions of dollars overseas, right? And let's just say they've made questionable decisions over the years. Forgive me if I don't trust you, bro. Yeah. And now we have a technology which is don't trust, verify. Don't trust Nayib Bukele. You could verify it yourself. You could see the address yourself. And if this balance starts to go down, Bukele is going to be held accountable. People are going to have some hard questions. Hey, what's going on here, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think it's in stark contrast. By the way, it's not only El Salvador that is accumulating Bitcoin. The Kingdom of Bhutan came out of nowhere. And this was only revealed because Celsius, during the lawsuit, it actually revealed that some of the companies and some of the people that are interacting with them, and somehow people were able to connect that with the Kingdom of Bhutan. Then Forbes released an article basically announcing that BitDeer and the Kingdom of Bhutan partnered up to mine Bitcoin. First, they started out with 100 megawatts. And then right 2 weeks before the halving, they actually increased their mining capability and capacity up to 600 megawatts. So they added 500 megawatts on the verge of the halving. So they knew that the rewards were going to get cut in half, and they said, I don't care. We're going to keep mining Bitcoin. The reason for that is Bhutan has a tremendous amount of hydroelectric power, and also it's a country with not that many people, right? So they have a tremendous amount of excess energy, which is the key point here. Now, what's really crazy about this article, we were actually talking about it yesterday on some of the panels before the scammies. I'll read you this for the audio listeners, the headline from Bitcoin Magazine. Bhutan's Bitcoin holdings revealed. Kingdom owns $700 million in Bitcoin from mining. South Asian country Bhutan, a Buddhist kingdom on the Himalayas eastern edge, has been revealed as a major Bitcoin holder, owning 13,011 Bitcoin, worth around $780 million US. Goes on to say, Bhutan is the 4th largest government with Bitcoin holdings on our platform, with over 750 million in BTC. Unlike most governments, Bhutan's BTC does not come from law enforcement asset seizures, but from Bitcoin mining operations, which have ramped up dramatically since early 2023. They actually have satellite footage of the farms being built out, which is absolutely cool. It goes on to say, Bhutan's Bitcoin mining activities are conducted by the kingdom's investment arm, Druk Holdings. According to Arkham, the country has constructed mining facilities at multiple sites, with the largest on the grounds of a defunct education city project. Quote, we were able to corroborate the timeline of on-chain mining activity with time-lapse satellite imagery of facility construction. That is so freaking cool. You can see the difference here, right? Everything's being built out. In May 2023, BitDeer partnered with Druk Holdings and investments to develop the 100% carbon-free Bitcoin mining operation in Bhutan. Now, what's really interesting, and here's the increase in capacity, like I told you guys, but what's really interesting is I was talking about this yesterday, and I saw in one of the articles, just to kind of give you an idea, $780 million is 1/3 of that country's GDP, and it's in Bitcoin.
Just insane. I mean, again, like they've got, were you saying they had a lot of hydro or like?
Yeah, so they have a tremendous amount of hydroelectric capability. So here we go. So abundant hydropower resources. So they have like basically the rivers that are coming down from the Himalayas as they melt, and all that water is going through Bhutan, and they just build like dams and power plants.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is they're taking energy that just freely existed and was not being utilized for anything else and said, hey, we can monetize this to the tune of 1/3 of our GDP. How insane.
And get absurdly wealthy in the process.
Yeah.
Right?
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. But man, these Buddhist kingdom, bullish on Bhutan. Anyways, moving on. So here, the Fed cut rates for the first time in 4 years. And of course, a lot of people are speculating that's the reason. That's one of the major reasons as to why Bitcoin had this major run up from, I think we were in the 58K region. I think we topped out at 64 recently. We're down to like 63 or so. But it had this major run up. And a lot of the reasons that people are saying that this happened was because the Fed cut rates. They actually cut it to 50. They cut rates by 50 basis points. People were anticipating 25 basis points. But I was talking to Tone Vays the other day, and he's saying that unfortunately, when they cut rates by such an extent, it's a possible indication that the economy might be in trouble. Mm-hmm. So there's an immediate sugar high, but then people come to realize that, oh crap, why are they cutting rates at such a rate? We actually might have, a recession potentially coming up. Now, nobody knows for sure, but that is the word on the street. Also, here it is.
$1 billion on Bitcoin.
Sorry about that. MicroStrategy also raised $800 million. $800 million. They continue to use their infinite money glitch. Michael Saylor has found it, and essentially it works like this. They basically borrow. They borrow against the company at very, very low rates. The last time I saw the rates, it was 0.695%, which is crazy. They use that to buy Bitcoin. As the Bitcoin price goes up, the stock goes up, and then they do the exact same thing again. And actually, based on the stock price, the amount of Bitcoin per stock continues to go up using the infinite money glitch. Yeah. Saylor is literally using their system to speculatively attack their system using the debt system that they have. It's absolutely hilarious. And by the way, it's not only Michael Saylor doing this, other companies have followed suit. So we had Selmer Scientific announce it. We have countries like the Kingdom of Bhutan. We have El Salvador, of course. You have Tesla that holds about 10,000 Bitcoin, roughly, give or take. SpaceX as well. I forgot what is the name of the company that Dylan Leclerc, Metaplanet, I believe that's the name. So you're seeing other companies and nation states follow this strategy of Bitcoin accumulation. So here is Cathedra Bitcoin, and they're shifting their focus from mining to Bitcoin acquisition. So after 7 years in the mining business, Canadian Bitcoin miner Cathedra is altering its focus. The company is now shifting to developing data centers and plans to use the profits to purchase Bitcoin instead of mining it. It goes on to say, quote, "The last 3 years have demonstrated to us that Bitcoin mining is not a reliable way to grow shareholders' Bitcoin per share." That's the key word. That's what I was saying in regards to Michael Saylor. Indeed, 9 of the 10 largest publicly listed Bitcoin mining companies hold less Bitcoin per share today than they did 3 years ago. The company stated in the memo, adding that companies like MicroStrategy, which focus on increasing Bitcoin per share, have been rewarded by equity markets. That is the signal there. People are interested in how much Bitcoin is per share. Michael Saylor has found the infinite money glitch. He's used that to his advantage. But you see this other company following suit. They're saying, "Hey, wait a second. We'll provide more value to our shareholders if we change strategy to a Bitcoin acquisition strategy." So the Chad Saylor is winning. Other companies are looking. And I think by the time this epoch is over, we're going to have one of the major 7 tech companies. Tesla's already there. But like I'm saying, Google, Microsoft, I mean, you see Michael Dell hinting at it, potentially follow in the footsteps of MicroStrategy. I'm very confident that one company will bend the knee.
Yeah. And the great thing about this is your company actually has to make money for this to work. Like you can't be like a zombie company with no income to really pull this off consistently, because eventually shit hits the fan. But if you are a company that, you know, provides a service, provides value for others, that actually year over year makes profit, then yeah, you can partake in this and you can do quite well for yourself. And again, it's another flavor of my favorite formula: provide value for others, spend less than you earn, and save in money that no one can print.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that simple? It's a very simple and effective formula, but you know, it seems like fiat has just brainwashed a lot of people. Anyways, moving on to the next piece of news. Ben and I were talking about this earlier. Louisiana state government now accepts Bitcoin as payment. Now, what's really interesting about this, we were making fun of this. Louisiana state government accepts first cryptocurrency payment, or they say cryptocurrency. But if you read the text, it says Louisiana residents will now have the option to pay for state services from their private secure crypto wallets. These popular types of cryptocurrencies will be accepted: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Lightning, and USD Coin. In fact, the first cryptocurrency payment was made today to the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Now, Ben, you were saying this earlier. I agree. Now, before everyone's like, why you're giving your money to the state, we're winning on both fronts here, because check this out. A unique service converts incoming cryptocurrency payments, depositing US dollars into state government accounts like a credit or debit card transaction. The service protects the state from previous worries about accepting cryptocurrency and promotes the adoption of new technologies in the state's infrastructure. So it's great. You send them Bitcoin, they sell it immediately, give it back to the private market, and then they keep dollars of which they can print. So like it's a great deal.
I love how they frame it as it protects the state. Like they're protecting themselves from having sound money and instead dumping it for fiat cuckbucks. Like, it's so great.
It's nuts. And they're drinking their own Kool-Aid. Yeah. Like, they really, really believe in the cult of fiat, like, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Anyways, to kind of end the news segment today, I do want to focus on Warren Davidson. Once again, talking about Gary Gensler. And again, the reason I'm emphasizing this, ladies and gentlemen, I'll play it at 1.25 the speed because it is quite a long clip. But the reason I'm emphasizing this is what I was saying about the election earlier. We have two options in front of us: pro Bitcoin, anti Bitcoin. And what I don't want people to get confused about, because we've seen this crypto for Harris articles written and like these things being done. Don't pay attention to what they say. They don't want to lose the voters. Yeah. They know that people that hold Bitcoin are part of their voter demographic. You have to pay attention to what they do. And what they're doing in the background is malicious. Don't take my word for it. Here's Congressman Warren Davidson bringing up that they're attacking self-custody. Let's check it out.
Mr. Reiners, I hope no one's listening to you about this market, especially as a student trying to understand the space. It's over $1 trillion just for Bitcoin. The market's over $2 trillion. Clearly, lots of consumers find value in this space. And frankly, the idea that you could point out that there's only one time that the SEC was even partially wrong has to be willful ignorance. I mean, I don't know how it could be anything other than deceit. It's hard for me to understand, because on August 29th, 2023, the Circuit Court upheld the position that the SEC violated the Administrative Procedures Act when it denied Grayscale's application to convert Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a Bitcoin ETP. Following that decision, the SEC waited until January of 2024 to actually approve the conversion, and they basically was a pure rebuke of the actions. If you look at DebtBox, another pure rebuke. Lawyers would normally get disbarred for the conduct of SEC in the DebtBox case. So there are lots of cases where they've been caught and told that they were wrong by the courts. And the market continues to reinforce that there really is value. Just looking at Bitcoin alone, people right now believe that it's a secure way to store value with a level of confidence of around $60,000. I mean, that's a new security product on the market that you could digitally secure a unit of value, and people believe in it enough to put almost $60,000 into one unit of measure in a Bitcoin. And they don't just want to store it there, they want to be able to transfer it in a permissionless peer-to-peer way. So if you read the Bitcoin white paper available at bitcoin.org, you could see the concept, even if you just read the abstract. It's not just meant to be parked there or speculated on, it's meant to be able to be moved in a permissionless way. Now, we don't know how much of that $1 trillion of market cap in Bitcoin is self-custody versus third-party custody. But the SEC, under Gary Gensler's leadership, has willfully undermined the ability for anyone to custody digital assets, not just Bitcoin, but the rest of the space as well. So they've decided that if they can't completely end the entire space, they want to push custody of it to some third party that they can control or manipulate. They certainly don't want individual American citizens to custody their own wealth and be able to move it amongst others. So, Mr. Fazaro, when you look at this space and the special purpose broker-dealer path that we saw, people saying, we'd love to try to custody digital assets for others. What kind of problems did you find with the current framework offered by Mr. Gensler?
A few of the challenges related to this framework that relate specifically to Bitcoin and crypto exchange-traded products that I can mention. One is that as an issuer, an offer of someone who wants to offer these products, the larger and well-established custody banks that typically participate in custody of assets in collective investment vehicles are effectively barred from participating in the space. They don't have a way to bring custody services to the market. That's one challenge. A second one that I'd like to mention is that in the ETF structure itself, or the ETP structure itself, typically the funds have a creation and redemption mechanism that works through what is known as an in-kind process, where the fund exchanges shares in exchange for the underlying asset itself. Because broker-dealers are not able to handle Bitcoin and crypto, we can't have that type of mechanism in the exchange-traded products.
Is that a consistent way that it's applied for ETP, ETF products? Are they treating this differently?
In overseas jurisdictions, we have in-kind transactions that occur in ETFs and ETPs, but it's consistently applied here in that we're not able to bring that type of structure to market, which is a thing that we think slightly increases costs for end users.
Yeah.
So think about what they just said, and that's the end of the news segment for today. But think about what he just said. They don't want in-kind redemption, meaning they want you to stay in the ETF. They don't give you the ability to get out of the ETF for spot Bitcoin, right? And they're essentially, in their minds, they're just like, okay, maybe we can't get rid of this, but at least we can get rid of self-custody. Yeah. And that's what they're trying to do. Yeah. Caught in 4K, make no mistake, this is what it's all about. And that's why I got to say, like, this election is quite important in my opinion. And shout out to Warren Davidson for really bringing that to light.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, the great thing about everybody watching this is you guys already know that the tools exist to self-custody right now. And I'm certain that everybody watching this is already going down that road and is already learning the tools, if not using them actively. So you guys are ahead of the curve. You know what's up. And yeah, we're going to come back with a few tech updates to kind of round out momentarily. But, discussing these very tools that give you the power to take self-sovereign wealth into your own hands.
Not your keys, not your cheese.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we will be back in just a moment. We're going to do a quick shout out to sponsor the show. And then also when we get back, we're going to give away some sats. So get those Lightning wallets ready. We're going to throw a coin in the Bitcoin wishing well over at bitcoinwell.com/BTC sessions.
Bitcoinwell.com/simply Bitcoin.
We will be back in a moment. See you guys in a sec. Speed Wallet is a Bitcoin Lightning wallet built with simplicity in mind. Spend and receive with ease, claim your own Lightning address, shop your favorite gift cards, and even earn rewards when you spend. Head over to speed.app to download the app on your mobile or desktop today and use the link down below to get 5,000 sats for free and have the chance to win even more. CoinKite.com has some of the best hardware on the market today to secure your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q is an absolute powerhouse and is my daily driver. And on top of this, they have plenty of other goodies, including the Mark IV, the Tap Signer, Open Dimes, the Block Clock, and much more. If you head over to their website, make sure you use code BTC Sessions at checkout to get a nice discount. Links are in the show notes down below. Debify.com allows you to borrow against your Bitcoin in a non-custodial way. Collateral is held in a 3 of 4 distributed multi-sig with trusted parties. It provides institutional liquidity providers, loan periods of up to 5 years with flexible conditions and the best rates. And best of all, no rehypothecation of your funds. If you want to check them out today, head over to Debify.com or hit the link in the show notes down below. All right, we are back in. We're going to give away some sats right now. Been a while since we did this together.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, that's not true. We did it this morning.
Did we? We did.
Yeah.
It's that Vegas. I haven't had a drink yet today, but it's like just through osmosis of being in town. It's like you're half drunk the whole time. So anyways, so we are going to be giving away some sats right now. Pull out those Lightning wallets. So what am I doing right now? This is bitcoinwell.com, and this is a great place where you can stack sats. They have everything you need to take instant Bitcoin self-custody. In fact, they never hold your coins.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it, they've got this wishing well, and it's incredible. So when you sign up, you earn points. When you purchase sats and take them into self-custody, you earn points. When you refer friends, you earn points. And you can use those points to then toss a coin into the well. And we're going to do that right now. You can win between 500 up to 1 million sats in some cases. So we're gonna play now. Again, get those wallets ready. I'm gonna redeem 500 points. We're gonna toss it into the well, and we'll make it. There you go.
500 satoshis.
500 sats. So get scanning. One person will be able to snag those sats away. And congrats to whoever does. Let us know in the chat or on X or Nostr or YouTube comments or wherever you're watching this. Please do let us know if you snagged those sats. So really quick, I just want to go down the line. A few things here. HRF Bitcoin Development Fund grants have given grants 10 Bitcoin to 20 projects worldwide. 1 billion sats going out to some incredible entities here. Just to name off a few: African Bitcoiners, Stratosphere, Coracle, Harbor, the 256 Foundation, Kive Claire, Jeff Gardner, Silentium, BTC Shul, Edda Wallet, Tor Relay Operator Associations. That name, Ricto. I don't know. I'm gonna just decimate it. So regardless, Ricto, congratulations. Yes, Bitcoin Haiti, Bitcoin Indonesia, Bitcoin Plus, TabConf, Baltic Honey Badger, LeBitConf, and Decentralizer, SatsConf, and Solidarity Summit. I got to say, I love what HRF is doing, going out, finding projects and giving grants to them for those that are deserving. They've funded a lot of great things over the years. I mean, you've seen it firsthand as well. Good for them. They're doing the Lord's work for sure.
100%. Like one of the things that I'm originally from Venezuela. I know that they supported a lot of the opposition candidates, and they actually spoke at the HRF conference, specifically Leopoldo Lopez, and also the current opposition leader. I know that Alex Gladstein has had her back as well. So he actually did an interview with her, and she promised to him that Venezuela, if they take power again, that they were going to use Bitcoin to bring Venezuela into a bright orange future once again. So yeah, shout out to Alex Gladstein and HRF doing great work.
Oh yeah. Well, let's move on here. Keeper Desktop. So obviously you guys are familiar with Keeper, sponsor of the show. Awesome resource to be able to not only have hot wallets, but cold wallet support for a ton of different hardware and, multi-sig and inheritance blending, all of that. But up until now, a lot of people would primarily use on mobile, but they now have a desktop app that it's cross-platform support. And what this allows you to do is, normally if you're on mobile, you'd be using mobile-friendly devices, but some devices out there are natively primarily used plugged into a computer. So they get past this by having a special linkage between this desktop app and the mobile app, and it allows you to have support for things like Trezor, Ledger, Bitbox, and plenty of other desktop native devices that require you to plug in via USB, and it just makes the whole experience much more able to be set up as you please. If you're dealing with Trezors or Bitboxes or whatever it may be, there you go. You can just use your desktop app. I think it's a great move forward, and a way to bridge the gap of some people that maybe had devices that they couldn't previously use with Keeper. So kudos to them.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. One of my other favorite desktop wallets,
Electrum.
Oh, you're a big Electrum fan. I'm solidly Sparrow here, and this is a big update. So this is a big overhaul, version 2.0.0. It introduces the ability to recover slip 39 shares. So what this is the Shamir secret sharing. So instead of having a single seed phrase, you can shard it into multiple pieces, kind of like a multi-sig, and you need X number of those pieces to reconstitute the original seed. So it allows you to recover something that is in that form as a backup. It also adds support for the Trezor Save 5, which is brand new, the new Ledger devices, which are called the Stacks and the Flex, and also has some updates to Java and everything else, amongst other improvements. I have yet to play with it, but I'm going to be messing around. I'm curious to play with the Slip 39 stuff, so that should be pretty cool. But we'll move on to the next one here. Blue Wallet Advanced Mode Unleashed. So what's up here? Version 7.0.4 is now available on iOS, Android, and Mac OS. This release makes advanced mode options available contextually on each screen, top right option.
It's so nice because before, and Blue Wallet's like my favorite mobile wallet, right? And before, if you had different wallets, it wouldn't give you the total sum of all those wallets.
Oh.
So now, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see, I don't know if they have a screenshot of it. Anyways, if you download Blue Wallet, you'll see the total sum of all the wallets at the top.
Nice.
And then if you click it, allows you to switch between USD or the fiat currency of your choice, Sats, and Bitcoin. So it's obvious, but it's not so obvious, right? So yeah, definitely big improvement, and huge fan of Blue Wallet. And they also allow you, by the way, to connect with your own node too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So they sunset their custodial Lightning option, which makes sense because there's a lot of work for developers to host a service on that, and on top of that, there's regulatory uncertainty right now with pre-election and all that. But you can plug into your own LND node and host it and all of that. And of course, all the on-chain self-custody, they have vaults, they have all that kind of stuff. And with this update, they also found that a lot of people, there's a lot of advanced features, but they had pushed them so far to the background that a lot of people didn't know that those features were even there. So this one is an effort to bring some of those features back into the foreground so you can see them as options, because a lot of people were requesting that. So kudos to Blue on the update. Check out that update. And I wanted to share this final one here because silent payments, this is, again, in response to a lot of stuff we've seen some pretty cool privacy tools come out of it. as well as some privacy tools be sunset and disappear, which is unfortunate. But silent payments is a big one, and it allows you to post a static address that is not being able to be audited. So you can have a static address posted anywhere. Anybody can use a silent payment supporting wallet to send to it. It will serve them up a unique Bitcoin address for them to pay. But publicly facing, nobody can say, oh, here's an address, let's just audit it and see what they got. They will only get their own address. So yeah, and it serves a unique one to each person. So either way, Dana Wallet mobile silent payments for Bitcoin donations. This is the first public release of Dana Wallet, a simple silent payment native Bitcoin wallet available on Android. Basically, all it is again, a static payment code. You can receive on-chain transactions, and it's done in a more private way than previously. So I love to see that. We've seen some other mobile wallets implement it, Blue Wallet included, as well as Silentium and Cake, I believe. So awesome on the front of Bitcoin privacy. And the last thing, and we were just talking about this beforehand, but in hosting your own Bitcoin node, you were saying, yeah, I got to do that. That looks cool. And it is cool. But last week, very end of the week, I dropped a tutorial on Alby Hub. And so this allows you to use something like your own Start9 and set up your LND node very simply. It walks you through. It actually says like, hey, you know what you might want to do first is this step, and then you should do this step, and it handholds you.
One of the clever features that I saw too, it was that it allows you to use your custom URL as well.
Yes, like you're talking about like your Lightning address, where it's like, hey, I am BTC sessions at getalby.com, but it goes to my node.
Dude, that's so cool. No, but hold on. No. But what I mean is like for example, like Nico at simplybitcoin.com.
You can indeed set that up as well. Alby Hub itself, they try to make it such very, very simple for you, and they will host like a get Alby address for you. But you can, in the background, like on your own website or whatever, you can host that information so that will go directly to your own node as well. So if you haven't checked out Alby Hub, for those that are pushing hard for the self-sovereignty angle in and around Lightning, and you want to self-host and you want to have your own channels, but it's previously been a nightmare, Alby Hub is a leap forward, like leaps and bounds easier than my previous experience in setting up Lightning nodes. And it works beautifully. It's linked. I've got a browser plugin so I can pay from there. I've got it linked to my mobile wallet. I've got it linked to Zaprite for invoicing. So literally everything, all my Lightning stuff with all of this can go directly to my own node when that's the tool that I'm using. So definitely worth checking out. Pretty sweet. Hey?
Yeah, no, Ben knows I'm a convenience maxi. So this is another step in the right direction for making Lightning self-custodial Lightning.
Yeah.
Being able for it to be used by the masses.
Yeah. And again, like if you're just doing a few bucks here and there and you're using it Lightning casually, like use what works for you. But again, for those that are really pushing to kind of self-host, then here's a solution for you. For those that aren't, like Primal app for Noster has a baked-in custodial Lightning wallet. Speed Wallet is like one of the simplest things to use. But like people will have their own choices and their own preferences, and there you go. So, anyways, we're gonna wrap it up there and round it out. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Make sure you smash that like button, give this a share wherever you are. Shout out to the Nostrages that have been joining in on the Zap.stream. Appreciate that. And all zaps. If you want to help the show in another way, of course, hit the previously mentioned sponsors down below. And also, if you've been sorting through the channel, you've been hitting up the tutorials like that Alby Hub one or others, and you need a bit of hand-holding, you hit a snag, or you're just a Bitcoiner that realizes that you don't want to be a Bitcoin Luddite and you want to level up a little bit, check out bitcoinmentor.io. I've constructed an incredible team of educators, and they can help you through anything you need, from wallets to hardware to multi-sig to Lightning to nodes to hobbyist home mining, all of it. Reach out, bitcoinmentor.io, and they will have you covered. So with that, we are out. Have yourselves a wonderful day or evening, and we'll both see you next time for your Simply session later.
Viva Las Vegas.
Hodl the Bitcoin.